You are listening to Bitter Cup Media, where inspired, controversial conversation matters. Your broadcast will begin in less than 2 minutes. We thank you for joining, and remember, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another.
Though he slay me, yeah, but I trust him. I'll trust in the Lord. Though talked about and misunderstood. Yes, I've been lied on. But still, we've been made. Endure for a night. But I'm glad. I still enjoy. After all. Everybody say, oh. The world didn't give it to me. This joy, the world can't take it away. Say, have your hands up. Here we go. After all that I've been through. I still have joy. Hey, still. I still have joy. Still. I still have joy.
This is Shanina Shoemate from Oakland, California. You are listening to Issues After Dark.
Because the nighttime is the right time to have inspiring, controversial conversations that matter. It's time for Issues After Dark with your hosts, Donna Williams and Dion Evans. Issues After Dark is a deeper dive in today's breaking news, trending social media, and pop culture from a biblical perspective. Gather your thoughts, get your questions ready. Your hosts, Donna and Dion, will be taking your calls via the Bitter Cup Media Zoom line, as well as interacting with your social media commentary regarding today's topics. And now, Issues After Dark with Donna Williams and Dion Evans.
It's a beautiful day to be alive. Issues After Dark, Donna Williams, Dion Evans.
Hey.
How you doing, Donna?
I am doing well. How are you?
Is your lipstick supposed to be matching your blouse, which is matching your undertones?
Yes. I tried.
I noticed all that stuff.
Well, I am very impressed that you notice stuff like that.
Undertones.
Undertones. And what's my undertone?
It's like an orange. You have like an orange undertone.
Yeah, it's kind of yellowish goldish.
Yellowish goldish?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Look, I grew up in a house full of women.
Yes.
Only one that was around was my grandfather. Yeah. Nakia Davis is already coming. She said, I am screaming. Oh, yeah. And you got good. Look. I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
I am excited.
Yeah.
Because today we have, can I just say it the way I need to say it?
Uh-oh.
We got a young man that I've trained in broadcasting.
Okay.
I remember when I first heard his voice. We're going to talk about that tonight.
Okay.
I'm very proud of this brother. I've always, there's not a lot of guys that from the first time I met him, I've always liked him. And what I like about this young brother, Stanley Joseph, is he's always himself. And I learned early on in my relationship with him, brother, I want you to always be yourself. Don't put on airs. because I'm a pastor teacher. Don't because I'm an older man. I didn't have no gray. I don't think I had any gray when I first met Stanley. But this brother, as far as a broadcaster, as far as a guest on broadcast, he's dopalicious. He's good.
Dopalicious.
Dopalicious. That's opalicious. I add that to everything now.
You do
around the young folk.
And what do they go? Ooh, don't do that.
They don't say that to me.
What do they say?
They just laugh. They probably say that in their head.
That's the same thing. That's the same thing.
They probably say it in their head, but they don't say it out loud.
Yeah, if they laugh, they're saying it in their head.
And so when we come back from our first break, the whole show, Donna and Dion typically run the show. Today, we're just air traffic controllers.
Oh, gosh.
We're saying, all right, Stanley, where you want to put this airplane? And let's talk about it as it takes off. Donna, have you seen the topics he wants to discuss? This show, I'm producing. Donna and I are hosting.
Yes.
But all topics were created from the mind of Stanley Joseph.
Lordy.
For those of you who have never met Stanley Joseph, you are in for a treat. This is just a good dude. Segment number 1. The overall segment is called Catching Up with Stanley Joseph, Part 1. He wants to talk about, Donna, KeKe Palmer. From this perspective, are men just sperm banks now and another stream of income? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. He going to start a fight on radio. You know we love a good radio fight.
Yes.
Also on the KeKe Palmer line, he wants to talk about, is the sisterhood fake? Uh-oh. I can't wait to have that conversation.
That's going to be interesting.
I can't wait. Is the KeKe Palmer sisterhood fake? Can't wait. Segment number 2, if you thought that was a doozy, Catching Up with Stanley Joseph, Part 2. He wants to talk about Zion Williamson. Listen to this. Are the strippers smarter than the college educated? Oh, no. Oh, no. Are the See, Donna, I can't come up with thoughts like that.
Yeah.
This is Stanley Joseph fingerprint stuff.
Oh, gosh.
His brother, we've talked, and we've done at least 2 shows where we've talked of considerable length about Zion Williamson and all the drama.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that the strippers are winning? The strippers are coming with outcomes that are better than the college educated? Think about it. Cardi B. Think about it. Megan Thee Stallion. Think about it. What's the other one? Nicki Minaj. Think about it. Strippers. Are they outperforming the college educated? That's segment number 2. Segment number 3, Catching Up with Stanley Joseph. And then he has an eclectic bunch of stuff here. Why are singles leaving the church? I like that. I'm interested to see where that's going. I've not been a single a long time. I've not been tracking singles as it relates to attendance. But I'm interested. Another topic. Why no one want to have families anymore? Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Then he's got one called SYSBM. Save yourself, black man. The mindset. We just talked about Wimbayama yesterday.
Yeah.
And his whole being introduced to, good old American white privilege.
Yeah.
By the hand of a has-been celebrity. And then he wants to chime in on the subject, passport bros. Hopefully we can get all this in. I mean, every doggone topic Stanley wants to talk about today is worthy of a doggone show all in itself.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it so well. Oh God. You have him on the show. Yes, so well, yes.
You gave him the show.
I did. You know why?
That's what she said. Oh God, you gave him the show.
Gave him the show. Oh yeah. Yeah. I said pretty much.
Oh Lord.
Pretty much. Now I'll save, because when Stanley comes on, we'll talk a little bit about how we met and all that kind of stuff, and then we'll fast forward into all of it, because you'll get to understand why I'm excited about this brother. This is his introduction kind of back into this new work we're doing. And I believe those of you who are listening, those of you who will listen later, once you've listened to this entire broadcast, you will be demanding. You will be demanding to hear more from him. And I just love authenticity, and he's just different. He's a safe brother, educated. He's got different angles. He's got angles that I don't see. And that's why I think that's probably why I like him. Because he's got real angles that I don't see. And then when I see him, I'm like, whoa, that's a good angle. That's a doggone good angle. I didn't think of that one. You know? And he knows how to, he's learned broadcasting very well. Like I said, I believe I mentored him. I believe he's one of those broadcasters that from blank page to real broadcasting, the Lord used me to bless him. But he is all I did was light a fire that God just needed lit. And he's been exploding in all of these different pockets ever since. So well says never a dull moment. Yeah, she must know Stanley very well. That's good. Never would have made it. I'm just saying.
I knew you were going there. I knew
never
you were going there.
You know that.
Gosh.
All right, Donna, what was the best thing that happened to you today?
Best thing that happened to me today. That's a great question. I don't know. I was thinking about that question earlier today. And just every day is just a good day. It's kind of, it just, goes well. I mean, there are moments that pop up. I'm like, seriously, really? But it just goes well. So I never can think of the best thing that happened to me today. It's just that it's been a good day.
So then let me ask this question. What gave the color coordination? Your undertones match your lipstick match your blouse, and then you got some type of gold pendulum, gold necklace piece on.
It's silver. I've been wearing this for the last month. Yeah, it's silver. A school I worked at, Schools of the Sacred Heart, they would give these out as awards. And when I left the school, because it's heavy silver, when I left the school, the head of the girls' school gave this to me. Just gave it to me as a party gift. And on it, it says très bien, which is very good or very well, very good in French. And it was just a way of them saying, we have seen you all these years and we want to acknowledge that you deserved better is my take on it. Yeah. So
nice. Yeah. So well, it's Shanina. I knew that.
We knew that.
But I didn't know if you wanted us to call you Shanina. Sometimes people got anonymous and coded names. I didn't know if I should. I know the face.
Yeah, we knew who it was.
Can you listen?
What?
Can you imagine Shanina Shoemate and Stanley Joseph doing a broadcast together?
That would be interesting. Fun.
That would be fire.
Yeah.
Dealing with single issues.
Yeah.
Them dealing with that genre of single. Stanley Joseph, the male voice. Shanina Shoemate, the female voice. Oh,
that generation. All that.
Oh, that I could produce that. Yeah. You might have to talk about that for real.
Wednesday is open.
Yeah, Wednesday is open. Wednesdays and Friday.
And Fridays, right?
Yeah, maybe they can, do a show on Friday right before the singles go out to the club.
Do singles go to the club? All the single ladies.
If Stanley, here's the thing, Stanley and Shanita could do the show and be like, meet us at this club. This is where we will be. All the singles come hang out. They could probably fill a club.
I'm sure they could.
I'm just saying. I got all kind of ideas. All kind of ideas. I'm just saying. It's good in the hood. All right, y'all. Y'all listening to Issues After Dark. Fastest 2 hours in broadcasting. She's Donna Williams. I'm Dion Evans. We'll be back on the other side with Stanley Joseph.
Reach over and tell somebody, I'm going all the way. Woo! The presence of God is in this place tonight. All the way, I'm going all the way. All the way, I'm going all the way. All the way, I'm going all the way. I'm going all the way with the Lord. Put those hands up and tell him all the way. All the way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I made a promise, Lord, every day in my life. All the way. I'm going all the way. I'm going all the way with the Lord. I made my decision. I made my decision. I'm going all the way. I made my choice. I made my choice. Somebody tell him tonight. I've made my decision. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm going all the way. I'm going all the way with the Lord. Come on, sing it with me all the way. All the way. There's nobody like you, Lord. You made this promise, Jesus. Lift your hands and tell him all the way. Hallelujah. I'm going all the way with the Lord. No turning back. No turning back. I'm going all the way. No turning back. Yeah, 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 yeah. Somebody shouted, no turning back. Cry Jesus, not me. 'Cause I throw hands. Try Jesus. Please don't try me. 'Cause I fight.
Oh, Lord.
I know what he said about getting slapped. But if you touch me or mine, we gonna have to scrap. So, try Jesus.
You know, I really hope in my lifetime, as older as I get, that somebody does not try me like that.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Because I know we don't live in a day and a time where people can take a butt whooping and just let it go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, I have had long suffering, meaning there are people who I should have just snatched they soul, and I didn't. I didn't do nothing. And I had been patient and kind. I've been biblical. And my fear is if I ever lose it and have to fight, I may not know how to shut it off. You might have to come grab my arms, Donna, like Dion, come back. And I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, I might have to slap you.
Let you slap me go. I'm just saying.
Come back, wherever you are, come back.
Yeah, come back.
Yes.
All right, let's bring on to the national stage. Good brother, Stanley Joseph. Stanley, what's up, man?
Hey, Stanley.
Hey, what's up, Papa Dion? What's up,
Papa
Donna?
Dion.
Not
Hey,
Diva.
Stanley. Hey, Stanley.
Hey, what's up? Hey, Dion, I'm with you on that. The last church I was in, the brothers had to come for me and give me a hug and get me away from people. Now, I got baptized in a Pentecostal church, but I told them I grew up in a Baptist foundation with the 3 C's. The Baptist is a cursing, cutting Christian domination.
God have mercy. Oh, and so it begins. And so it begins.
No, Donna is the truth. Like people use God's grace and think I don't have Jesus. People like my coin. When you flip my coin, my coin is Joshua on one hand, Samson on the other. You about to get these hands. This is the only things I can give you. J-U-S-U-S. This is.
Oh, Lord.
Nakia Davis chimes in. She says, "Hey, Stanley."
Hey, Nikita, what's up?
Also, Shanita says, "Nah, we do brunch and lounges."
I don't go to clubs.
That's true. Yeah, nobody does club. The club is dead.
Yeah.
Really? Well, what's a
Yeah,
lounge?
clubbing's been,
Yeah. What
the
happens at a
clubbing's dying
lounge?
off.
Yeah, what's a lounge?
A lounge, that's what the clubs has become. A lounge is like basically a bar. That's all.
Okay.
Nobody dances. Nobody dances at the club.
So
Everybody
you
got their
can't go up
phone
to a girl
out.
and say, "Hey, you wanna dance?" That don't happen no more, y'all. Wow.
No, you do that, they're gonna take a photo of you or just videotape dumping you and put you on Instagram, TikTok, or a YouTube Shorts calling you a loser. I can't believe this Dusty come talk to me, and it's like, girl, you like I make more money than you.
Okay, so
You got
what's
in
the
for
point?
free.
Well, what's the point in going if you don't want anyone to talk to you?
Oh, it's easy. You want to be worshipped.
Oh.
You want to be pursued.
Oh, but you don't want
That's
to be
why.
caught.
No.
Being caught is found as weakness.
Oh yeah, you'll pick me if you get caught.
Say that again.
Women are you'll pick me. You'll pick me.
that up.
Pick me.
Yeah, like you pick. I'm like, don't everybody want to be picked? Everybody wants to be picked. Like that's the goal, right? Like the goal of dating is to be in the result. The result of dating is to be in a relationship.
Well,
Dating is supposed to be always in this state of like meeting somebody, want to be pursued. I remember my mom had to talk to one of my friends, right? And she told her, like, don't think that you're always in front of the store when you're in the back on clearance.
ooh,
And I think a lot of people, and that's what a lot of people are right now. You're not only in the back on clearance, they also trying to sell you on eBay, Amazon. You're in the back. You're not in the front no more.
gosh.
Wow. And people don't know that they're, it's funny you say that because I had this conversation with Donna about men and their thoughts. Like a man's private interpretation could be so way off. And a lot of men, like I'm in Starbucks a lot. When them young girls come through Starbucks with them BBLs and they come in Starbucks, looking all, sex. I mean, they're like you knew you were coming to Starbucks and you knew that you weren't, you knew you were dressed provocatively. But what always blows me away is the man who looks like he's about my age.
Yeah.
Who wants to go holler at her like as if he is going to be an option for her. And I sit there all the time like, dude, you are not.
No.
Somewhere you forgot you're not that guy anymore.
Yeah.
And when she calls you sir.
No, he's still trying to hit it because guess what? You're going to be one of her streams of income. You're a sugar daddy for the coffee. You're a sugar daddy for the car. You're the sugar daddy for the trips. Like, I'm still trying to figure out, I work. I don't know how everybody go on vacation who don't work. You got a sugar daddy or a sugar mama. Or the other one I just found out, you got an uncle.
An uncle.
And that's for the men and the women. Yeah, the uncles. The uncles is the other sponsor.
Wow.
That's what they tell their kids.
Remember, I used to crack codes. We cracking codes tonight, guys. Welcome back to Issues After Dark. Cause we do some cold cracking up in here. So
wow.
Y'all got sugar mamas, sugar daddies, and y'all got uncles and aunties that's paying for y'all trips. Let's put it out there. And what you doing in Dubai when it's Muslim? What fun are you having?
Wow. Stanley, real quick, for those who are listening, they're tuning and they're hearing you for the first time. Do you remember how we first met?
Oh yeah, party all the time, party all the time, party all the time.
Party all the time.
So somewhere in the show, this was Dion Evans Live, I believe.
Yeah.
Truth, Raw, and Uncut. It was my afternoon show.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, the subject of Eddie Murphy and some song came up, and I couldn't for the life of me remember the song.
Mm-hmm.
So in calls a caller, and that's the first time I hear the name Stanley Joseph. And he comes on the call. I say, we got Stanley Joseph from somewhere in the Bay Area. And he says, he starts singing party all the time, party. And I just fell out. For two reasons. One, that he called in, it was hella funny. And two, he knew the very song that I was struggling to find.
We're trying to remember.
So he started off, Stanley started off as a caller. And then I was like, you know, I gotta meet this guy. And my wife reminded me that when I wrote the book, 8 Giants to Defeat Before You Slay Goliath, she reminded me that Stanley came to the book signing. She said, I think that's when you first met him for the first time live. I said, why? Because it feels like I've known him forever. Like, I mean, I know him now for over 10 years, but it feels like there was never a time that I didn't really know him.
I think now it's almost 12.
Yeah.
Oh,
because Victoria now is 11.
Yeah.
12 or 13. Yeah. Victoria's now 11.
Yeah, you had a niece.
Victoria's 11 years old. Yeah.
Yes. And she wasn't
She was a baby.
Yeah. Wow.
She was a baby.
Yeah, she was a newborn. Yeah. She came.
Yes, she was a baby.
So like I said, about 13 years or 12 years we're at.
Yeah.
That we known each other.
Yeah. Dope. Dope.
Yeah.
So
and I'm getting these grades because of her.
Say it again.
I'm getting these grades because of her.
Oh, just keep waiting. Keep waiting.
Coming up to the house like, sir, can I please take your daughter out on a play date? I'm like, dude, you're 10. You ain't playing these games with me. I was a boy. There's no play date. You're not 6.
Hey, if you remember that story of Deja when she was coming through her early teenage, you got to be careful of these mothers who have reckless belief systems regarding their sons, because a lot of these mothers are creating super predators out of their sons. They are pushing an agenda of sexual promiscuity and sexual, you got her soul is royal oaths. Not on mine. That's gonna cost.
Yeah.
So let's get into catching up with Stanley Joseph part 1. KeKe Palmer.
Okay,
Our
I gotta give
sperm banks now and another stream of income. Stanley, open it up. Why you pick this topic? Where we going?
Okay, I give credit to one of my friends. I've been on his show before, Mr. Let Go of Deeper Discussion Media Group. We used to call it the SMS, which is sperm, money, and sex.
Wow.
And that's what it looks like. And it's like that's what men are good for. So men are feeling like we just burden the beast. And this is what I'm good for in a relationship, being that marriage or not. This is where it's heading towards. And I know some women like, well, you don't have enough money. But let's be honest here, that's another stream of income for you not to spend your own money. So if a man only make $30,000 and you have access to $10,000 of his $30,000, that's $10,000 more for you.
Mm-hmm. You said SMS, sex,
sperm,
sex,
and money.
So you're saying basically we're living in a time where there's a generation of women that's how they value, that's how they see men.
Yes, they won't say it, but the attitude is there. I mean, KeKe Palmer, why he's with the guy, right? And we're like, okay, he's light skinned, he doesn't make his money. She had access to a lot of men.
Yeah.
But she didn't pick any of those men, right? So you pick a man that can't fight back, they can't talk back. But you really don't have to follow. He has to follow you. He stay at home and take care of the child while you make the money. And it's like, hey, guess what? If he leaves the relationship, you have money because you're not married. Now on the flip side of this, right?
You was breaking up on that point. We can't let that point escape. Get that point again. If he leaves the relationship,
all right. He leaves the relationship. He can't get money from her. They're not married. Right. He can't, like, mind you, like he stays at home. And he takes care of their son, and he take care of the house because she's the one that goes out and make money. She can't. He can't say that she stopped me from making money and then come at her in court and say, "Hey, I need support." But
he forgot his place.
Yes. However, you look at what happened to Tiger Woods and his girlfriend of 5 years.
Yeah.
And she wants to be not married.
Right.
Not married.
Right.
But she wants to be taken care of. And we're looking at this, right? Donnie, you ready for this? Since and this came on another podcast I was on, which is knowledge and relationships. And I put this question out there. Less people are getting married, so that means that the government can't get money from divorce, right? Does that mean the government now going to seek relationships and get money out of that? Because if you bring somebody into your house, into your home, and it's some form of a union, and then you guys break up, they can take you to court. It's called palimony, and it's a short-term alimony.
Yeah.
In the state of California, we have palimony. So
that came into being years ago when an actor, Lee Marvin, was living with this woman, and then he broke up with her and she sued him for palimony. She didn't get anything, but it set the stage for people to begin to think about palimony, about getting some kind of compensation for having given my years, my life to you in this period of time. And now you've gone on about your way, continuing to be the big star, right?
Right.
I have nothing. I have nothing. So I want you to support me. Pay me for those years.
Stanley, I'm going to tell you something that I know you've heard me say before. Yeah. I am glad that I am married. Yeah. Because, see, I don't have to deal with none of this. And I'm hearing you talk about this SMS. Men are good. A lot of women see men for sperm, money,
sex,
and sex. And Donna, I told you about a week or two ago when I was riding back from Rancho Cordova, I'm listening to a song from a dude who says, somebody told me
it didn't matter. Yeah.
That you was with another guy. Yeah. Now, if you're going to do that, do it, but don't let me find out. And I remember looking at the radio, smashing down 80. I looked at the radio like, are you kidding me? What kind of sucker comes up? I would never even write a song like that. I wouldn't even I wouldn't even download a song like that. And this dude is the song is sung like a love ballad. So I get it. So Stanley, are you telling me it's one way for women to kind of see men like this? But my question to you, are men signing up to be this?
Yeah, you have no choice. That's what you are. If you now the expectation when you go on a date, right? You have to pay, you have to perform, and you have to entertain.
Wow. Pay, perform, and entertain.
And then go on your way. She will call you when she's ready. And you go on your own. And KeKe
Palmer has come out with a t-shirt called I Am a Mother, MOTHA. Right after this, she's got a t-shirt out, merch, I Am a Mother. And she's going to make money off of that.
Oh, it's bigger than that. It's actually a line of clothes that she planned on making. It's a line of clothes. And I'm looking at it like, this man.
Yep.
I remember a woman said that men are the new women. And yeah, I can see it.
Oh.
Men
are the new women.
Are the new. Can I help the listeners? If you try to write down everything you've never heard before on this show, you're going to need a pretty lengthy tablet. I'm seeing SMS, and I'm just here. Men are the new women. We ain't even talking about transgenders. We're talking about real dudes being treated like the old school treatment of women and being okay with it.
Well, let me ask this question though. But let me ask this. Are they okay with it because they want to be taken care of?
Well, here's something we forget, right? When people say traditions, right? I'm from like the Gen X generation, right? Mm-hmm. And like I was telling, like on there's another podcast I was on called The Love Experience, right? Mm-hmm. And we were looking at good times, right? And you look at James and Evans, right?
Yeah.
James and Florida, right? Florida, so together, there was a more of like a partnership, but he still lead. Mm-hmm. And she had a way of talking to him without bruising his ego. She stood up with him, but at the same time, she knew how to be submissive. The way she stood up to him wasn't that she stood to him like a man. She used her strength as a woman, right?
Right.
And I feel like you look at that era and you look at what we have now, women have weaponized a man's past or his secrets and use shame to go ahead and put him down. I'm just like, that's crazy. Didn't women use that to other women before? That's one.
Yeah. Not used to still, but now they've added men to it. They've added men to it.
And then two, right? Growing up and growing in that era of the 80s, women, there was like so many magazines, right? As a kid, you saw these magazine articles and the headline, like, you could be more than a mother. Aren't you tired of being a mother? Don't you want to go back to work? And you look at that era with like more women going back to work. There was a big difference between single moms and divorced moms and married moms. And you knew the difference in that era as a kid, that single moms were not protected at all. So they were lost in the projects. Divorced mom has the homes and the protection of the neighborhood, and married moms stayed at home. Like they the ones that was like they were home moms. So there was like more privilege. But we never talk about that stance. We always think there's a big jump from single to like being a single mom and being married and being kept. I'm like, no, like a mom staying at home, she was like a manager. She knew everybody in the neighborhood. She knew who you were as a kid. But then you got the articles like mothers should be more, mothers want to go out in the workforce. And as a kid, you're receiving all this stuff. And then you grow up and then you don't want to be like your mother. And that was the theme of the 80s and 90s and 2000s. Women did not want to be like their mother. Yeah. This is the product of it. And I tell you, like, nothing just happened out of the nothing. This has been the product.
Well, the songs. I think of the songs. I am woman, hear me roar. And numbers too big to ignore. I am woman. Peggy Lee saying, I can fry up the bacon, bring it home I can bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan, and never ever let him forget he's a man because I'm a woman. You know, all of those themes, you're right. It was, I'm a woman, I am more than. And it's still.
Yeah. But you're doing less. But you're doing less than now. And you got the man that's the woman.
Yeah.
Now the men are the women. I'm just, man. I'm glad y'all not talking about my generation. I'm glad y'all not talking about my generation. Oh, y'all.
Oh, gosh.
Stanley Joseph is our special guest. The show Issues After Dark, Donna Williams, Dion Evans. We're going to take a quick music break, come back with more. We got another KeKe Palmer line. We're going to get that in too. We'll be back.
Well, there you go. I don't even know where my life would be if you hadn't shown your love. Touch from the chains that were binding me, gave me liberty. Set me free. I don't even know where my life would be if you hadn't shown your love. Touch me from the chains that were binding me, gave me liberty. Set me free. If it hadn't been for the Lord who was on my side, lost like a ship without guide, from sinking, saying lifting me, broke the chains that were binding me. The sun sets free, truly free indeed. Now walking in my liberty. Don't even know where my life would be. Lord, if you hadn't shown your love for me, that would body me. Nobody but Jesus could do it. Set me free. And when I felt like I could not last, I was found like guilt of my past. But I gave the Lord my life, and in exchange, He gave me brand new life. I haven't been the same. Ooh, the sun takes me. Woke up this morning to somebody in a video talking about something I posted in a video. If it wasn't me, then would you even get offended? Or is it just because I'm black and heavy? Y'all don't hear me though. I've been the same since I've been dropping slow on Bissonnet. Call up anybody I know and they will tell you that fame is pretty new, but I've been used to people judging me. That's why I move the way I move and why I'm so in love with me.
Issues After Dark. Y'all know I love me some Lizzo.
Yes.
I love that. It's a talented, and she doesn't get enough credit. If Lizzo was 130 pounds, she'd be the biggest star in the world.
Yeah.
Instead of being considered the biggest star in the world.
Yeah.
If she was 130 pounds, that we wouldn't be talking about Beyonce.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be talking about Alicia. We wouldn't be talking about none of these rappers. If she was 100, I'd say even if she was 150 pounds. And I kind of get concerned about some of the people who like her because, Although the American Medical Journal, they're starting to drop the idea of the mass body index.
Yeah.
That determines obesity versus health.
Yeah.
They're looking at dropping that because it isn't favorable to all races.
Right.
Which makes sense. There are a lot. I guarantee you she's more healthy. Lizzo is probably more healthy than a lot of people half her weight who criticize her for the outfits that she wears.
Because she's mindful of the fact of the impact of the weight that she can, the potential impact. So she's taking care of herself. She's making sure that she's doing what she needs to do.
Yeah. Shanina chimes in. She says, I think it's also the conversation of what, quote unquote, gender responsibilities. I remember my dad could not be in the house due to welfare checks. My mom had to be single until after the mid 90s. Tanif. Oh my God. You actually lived that? You too young. Really? I got to have you on for a segment on that alone. Because I talk about this stuff all the time, but I've never had this conversation with somebody who actually lived it. So expect to hear from me. Expect to hear from me. She goes on to say, it was a conversation of having the needs in the house being met. That's the decision my parents made. Now, I would say the fathers under the TANF, very different than the type of dudes that I'm seeing right now with the KeKe Palmers. Very different. They're very different mindset dudes.
But let me throw this out here. I just had this thought. What if that is, they don't have an option? I mean, they're not intentionally looking to be taken care of, but this woman connects with them and they connect with the woman, and this woman is doing better. This woman does have the money. This woman is, do they come with the mindset of being taken care of, or do they fall into the mold of being taken care of?
Well, let me bring Stanley back in because he's our special guest. He's the one bringing up all of these controversies. I feel like playing Prince. Controversy, blood, blood. You know, that was my first theme song, right?
Prince.
That's my first theme. Oh, hold on real quick. Stanley. Knowledge and relationships changes. Good evening, everyone. Here to support my brother Stanley. Good looking out. Knowledge and relationships. I heard that he knowledge. That's one of the podcasts you do, right, Stanley? You been on that podcast?
Yes.
Dope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dope. If you've been on the podcast, I have no problem with you dropping knowledge on that.
I got an issue already.
Hold on.
Salute to Dion. Salute to Stanley. Salute to all the other panelists. What's that up? See there?
Donna go get you knowledge and relationship.
Did not
give
call
us a
me
salute
by
to
name.
Donna Williams before we get in trouble.
That's all I'm saying.
Stanley, your shirt appears to be purple to me, right?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Don't start,
I just wanted to make it. Do you know that yesterday Donna made known to me she has never seen Purple Rain?
No, until I moved to California. It was the first time I saw a Prince album, and that's when I realized this is why I was banned from listening to his music. In the South, Prince was always preached against. Prince was the Antichrist in the South.
No, he was in the West. They called him that too. In the West, they tried to depict him like, but it wasn't. If you're a fan of Prince, Prince always had a song on one of his albums. Maybe it was on the B side, but he always had a song dedicated to faith and God. He always had.
You couldn't say that in church. In the South, forget it. It was every time Prince dropped an album, we had to sit in the front and listen to a sermon. I don't even know who Prince is. We didn't even have cable. I was like, it's okay for us to do Michael Jackson until Michael Jackson bleached his skin and he looked like Prince in '88. And then Lord. It was the South. It was like, I kid you not.
So wait, Stanley, are you telling me without telling me that you too have not seen Purple Rain?
No, I haven't. I wasn't allowed to.
God! You guys are killing me.
I haven't seen it.
You just validated Donna on levels I didn't want Donna validated.
What you gonna say? What you gonna say?
2 days in a row, America. 2 days in a row, I have met my folks. I have found out from folks close to me, Stanley is wearing purple and has never seen Purple Rain. I'm mortified. You guys are killing me.
Dion, it was something about, what's what I'm looking for? Androgynous, light-skinned men that we were not. That it was not.
But did you see the women that were around him?
But that was the androgyny that got me. That's what it was. The androgyny that bothered me.
But his music wasn't like the. I understand his look was a little, his look was a little feminine,
off-putting,
right? But his music was not.
It wasn't just him.
Was not.
It was also Morris Day.
Like
Morris.
Girl named Nikki, I guess you could say she was. I'm just saying.
But it wasn't just him, Dion. It was also like my parents, the pastor would call it Morris Day and the Pimps. It was him too. Like, it was any light-skinned man that was androgynous, forget it. It was not going to happen. It was not, and I didn't understand.
Y'all gonna make me do a show on Purple Rain, because I've never met two people that look like me who have not seen Purple Rain.
Oh, you've been made in the South.
You've been made in the South. Catching up with Stanley Joseph. We're still in part 1. I want you to talk to us about this that you brought up. KeKe Palmer as your springboard. Is the sisterhood fake? Open it up.
Oh, yeah. So her husband or her boyfriend, baby daddy, how dare you dress like that in front of Usher, do all the seductive dancing, show him your backside, grinding on him, put it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And then all the sisterhoods like, nah, girl, let him go. He's possessive. He's controlling. Right? Do that. And now they're in his inbox.
Ooh, of course they are. Of course they are. How many times have we seen celebrities' wives have good friends, and the next thing you know, because she's probably telling the good friend everything about what's going on in her marriage, and the next thing you know, the husband divorces her and marries the best friend. So yeah, they in his inbox. They're there.
So wait a minute. We got to talk about this sisterhood. So you calling fake? You saying a lot of these, Twitter partners who are standing up for KeKe, free KeKe, free KeKe. You saying, yeah, that's what they saying on Twitter. But the reality of it is they are in her man's inbox.
Yeah, and they benefit from it, right? You look at, everybody will say that Mary J. Blige's ex-husband is a bum for getting alimony, right?
Yeah.
Have any of the sisters who have met him at the bar or on vacation said no to him paying for the drinks and the appetizers? Oh, no, we haven't. Okay. T and Tamara, one of the twin sisters got divorced.
Yeah.
You think they're going after the husband now?
She outgrew her marriage.
Oh, she outgrew her marriage, and they now trying to grow that marriage. Like, look, that man didn't cheat. That man stay home. He cook and clean, take care of them kids. You think a black woman ain't gonna come and get that? And he like black women. He like black women. Show me a black man that don't date white. Rare. God gave you a gift and you threw it away. Okay.
You know who started all this? You know who I blame for this? You know who's the father of this generation's movement?
Or mother? Who's it?
Stedman.
Who?
Stedman. Oprah.
Stedman was smart. Stedman was quiet.
He still is.
Yeah, they lived together. And he didn't want to get married, but Stedman was different. Stedman
didn't want to get married. Or
he didn't want to get married. No,
he didn't want to get married.
And Oprah's been.
She didn't want to get married. She didn't want to get married. He didn't want to get married. No problem.
No problem.
And they live like they're married.
Yeah.
They're probably more dedicated to one another than some married people.
Yeah.
Hey, I put it this way for the singles ministry. I'm like, I tell people this, where we at right now in this stage as singles, no one should get married. Everybody needs to live in their little houses like Smurf Village and just date each other when they need to and separate. Y'all don't need to be moving in. Y'all didn't even take the steps. Donna, they have not taken the steps. There's a reason why you go on long road trips together. You know why? To see how that person's temperament is when it's just you two driving to San Diego, which is 10 hours, because going through the hills of Palm Springs is windy, so you're not going to go down fast. And you got to see how they survive that trip. And then when you come back, is this somebody that you want to be with? Nobody ain't doing that. Everybody just like, how much money you make, blah, 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 blah. Why can't I move in? They just move in. Nobody knows each other. They didn't do all the steps. That's my opinion. That's not a fact. That's my opinion. This generation,
all you proving is that the Bible's right. All you proving is that the Bible is right. Stay out of marriage until you've done the necessary things to prove marriage. But the Smurf Village, that I find that interesting. I've never heard of it like that before.
Oh, this is why
everybody has their own little place.
Everybody needs their own house.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to have their own house because the way people living now, if you move in with a woman, it's not going to work, right?
Well, you know what?
Women don't move in.
You know the Smurf Village would stop?
How?
Something you told me a couple months back. Hobosexuals.
No, that's different. Now, I'm going to say this. The Smurf Village, there's a girl Smurf Village, but they all live in their separate houses, so nobody's shacking up.
I know, that's what I'm saying. A Smurf Village would stop hobosexuals.
It can't. You know why?
Why is that?
Because the men want to be taken care of, and there's some women that want to be taken care of too.
But if there was a Smurf Village, then the women wouldn't want a guy in there, and the men wouldn't want a guy because they'd have their own little villa.
Which means you have to be what? Responsible. Accountable.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Okay, are you saying, understand, are you saying, let me see if I'm getting this straight, that there are men, I'm not going to say all men, but there are men who would rather be submissive and subjected to the whim of the woman, be taken care of because they don't want to be responsible?
Yes. I'm going to, and it's not a feeling, this is not a thought, this is very evident. When you go to the mall, a good mall, is Hayward Southland Mall still around?
It is, but it's kind of scary. It's kind of scary, but yeah, it's still around.
Okay, if you go to any Foot Locker or any store on Saturday and Sunday, you will see a grown man asking a grown woman, "Can I buy these sneakers?" What? And she be holding a heavy set of keys, crossing her arm, looking at him, and going back like, "Did you do such and such?"
See, now I'm going to have to start going to malls and watching people.
We got to go to Mike, Donna. We got to go to Mike. Now, what did you ask her? Did you ask her, could she buy you these sneakers? Because I'll do that. We got to go to Mike and the camera crew, Donna. Just sit outside, watch him walk in, see who's got more keys, who's following who, watch him look at the sneakers and then walk over to her.
And you'll see.
I'm not saying that couples can't buy stuff from one another, but the idea of men becoming women, in a sense,
or
men being submissive, and I don't have a problem. Even in marriage, we're submissive to one another because of love and marriage. But the marriage submissive that I understand is not tokenism. Right. For a lifestyle I can't afford, but with a woman I want to lay with, or I am the boy. I couldn't be a boy toy.
The boy toy.
I guess when I wasn't married, boy toy, it has its place. But for me as a man, I could never be the guy just chilling out on some woman's house. I just, that's not part of my DNA. I couldn't do that.
But what is the attraction?
There's a class on TikTok on how to do it.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Yes, guys, yeah.
Wait a minute.
There's a class
on how to do what? Let me
I am
make
so
sure
lost.
I'm hearing you right.
How to be a boy toy.
How to be a boy toy.
No, how to be a homosexual. So you meet the woman on the weekday, not the weekend, because she has to go to work. That's number one. You give her the best sex in the world. Number two, she's gonna be late for work. Number three, you act like you sleeping. Number four, she has to leave you in the house. Number five, you go ahead and fix the house and wait for her to come back from work. Dinner is made. You ready to go again, and you never leave after that.
I'm tired. I'm tired.
Welcome to being single.
I'm pretty much worn out too.
Listen.
Got to segment 2, and I am mentally worn out because I am not the kind of guy who's like women submit and you don't have no right. I'm not that guy. I believe marriage is an amazing unity that God has created. But this stuff that I'm seeing, this stuff won't even lead to marriage. Not a healthy one.
Well, maybe that's not the goal. That's not the goal.
And I get it, Donna. That's not the goal. And that's why when I talk to Stanley, I'm like, if that's not the goal, then what is the goal? And what does Stanley drop on me? Oh, well, the women, it's not the goal for women to get married. Well, then, Stanley, what is the goal for women to get married? Oh, SMS. What, text messages? No. Sperm, money, and sex. If I can get those 3 things from you, I'll keep you around till I find somebody else that can do that better. What? I feel sorry for my daughter. I feel sorry. Let's go to break. We'll be back on the other side more with my good brother, Stanley Joseph. We're going to segment 2. Zion Williamson up next.
You are listening to the Bitter Cup Media, where inspired, controversial conversations matter.
He's coming back for me. What a day it's gonna be when I'll be going home. Oh, Lord. Oh, that bright and celestial shore where we rest forevermore. Nevermore to roam. By the crystal sea, we're gonna rest eternally. My Savior's face I see in that perfect place that's prepared for me. Listen, I want to say it one more time. He's coming back for me. Well, that day is gonna be when I'll be going home. Yes, I will. Oh, that bright and celestial shore where we rest forevermore, nevermore to roam. By the crystal sea, where Jesus will wait for me, his lovely face I'll see. In that perfect place that's prepared for me. Yeah, to The Lord promised that to me. Mary, the Lord have many mountains prepared for me. There's some place prepared for me. There's some special place prepared for me. Yes, he does. There is. One more time. There is. Oh, when Jesus comes again, I will be. When he comes back for me, with him I'll be. When he comes back for me, with him I'll be. With him I'll be. I wonder, do you believe that tonight? I'm going up yonder. So pray for me.
Issues After Dark. Your host, Donna Williams, Dion Evans. Yes. Good brother, good young man. Been knowing him a mighty long time. Started his broadcasting career. He's there's a such thing as heir apparent, like if something happened to me and somebody had to then take the mantle.
Yeah.
Stanley would have to take the mantle.
Yeah.
He'd be ready. If something happened to me, he'd have to graduate to the adult show, Issues After Dark. He'd have to study his Bible.
Yeah.
He's got to bring a little bit more Bible to it. But it's the controversial subjects of the day, he would have absolutely not a single problem. This is episode 75. We're glad to have you on board with us as we continue the fastest 2 hours in broadcasting. I'm telling you, it's just, Donna, give me your thought before we bring Stanley back. Give me, what are your thoughts so far?
I'm kind of sad about it all, that the whole idea of men willingly, because they would rather be taken care of, willingly submitting to the headship. I'm going to put it that way, because that's what it is. The woman becomes the authority in the relationship. She's the one that begins to call the shots. That saddens me, because that was never, and we know this, never God's intent. It's a mutual respect. It is a hierarchy of authority, delegated authority down, that has been corrupted. By what? I mean, how did we get to this? Was it feminism? You talk about the 80s, you talk about the 90s. Was it feminism that said, look, you don't really need a man? I mean, for the sperm, if you want to have a child, but now you can just go to a sperm donor bank. You don't even have to have a man for that. You just go and get sperm at a bank. You don't need a man for that. Money, you have your own money. But maybe you want a sugar daddy. You want somebody to take good care of you. So you out for that old man who thinks that he's hot because this young woman is on his arm. Sex. Hey, You don't need a man to have sex. I'm sorry, men. But, women have figured out there are devices out there that do a better job because, after all, I know what I like. So it's, it just saddens me. It just saddens me.
You know what I think kind of contributes to it?
What?
When men understood their role by God, they became God to the role. Because the way in which men carried out their God-given assignment was not godly.
Yeah.
And so though God does have an order in the family, the way in which men were using that authority, it was not godly.
They became
and women finally got to the point where they were like, man, forget that.
But here's the other part of that curse, Adam and Eve. When God said the woman's desire would be for her man, he did not mean she'd be like, oh, I really want him. It would be that she would like to have rule over him. And so with man functioning dysfunctionally in his place as the head of the family, that which is innate to her as a result of the curse, she is now saying, hey, I don't need you to tell me what I'm smarter than you. I'm doing better than you. Why do I need you?
Well, in a lot of cases, now let me tell you something.
Yeah.
It's not my generation, but I want my daughter to think like that.
Yeah.
I want her to be like, I don't need you. Now, what I don't want is I don't want her having somebody move into. I told her, you don't have no visitors. You don't know nobody spending the night over your house.
Yeah.
We didn't help you get an apartment away on campus so that somebody can come up to you talking about, I ain't got no place to stay. He had a place to stay before he knew you. Yeah. He been living in Georgia all this time, and all of a sudden you from Cali.
Right.
You ain't relocated to Georgia for him to all of a sudden find your place as the place to stay. No, sir. Right. No, ma'am.
Right. Right.
We ain't having it. So I'm all for it. If my daughter is going to get married, that dude's going to have to be dope. He's going to have it on right. Yeah. I'm just saying. Let's bring back Stanley Joseph. Stanley, there you go, brother. How are you?
Hey, what's up? I want to answer both of you guys' questions. You ready for it?
Okay. All right. What?
Dion, I was in church ministry for a decade. I was in the singles ministry, and I studied the Bible, and I was dangerous. I did the study on the roof. Now they ain't like my study Ruth and Boaz.
Yeah.
I point out to everybody. First of all, when Ruth left with her mother-in-law, she worshipped God, not because she was gonna get a Boaz. She was not promised a Boaz. Number one,
right?
She ain't know nothing about no Boaz.
Right.
Number two, why Boaz and his cousin were single? Because the women in their village was no good. Which number three?
Lord Jesus.
Which number three?
Number three.
Because Ruth followed the mentorship that was given to her. She got Boaz. And not only did she get Boaz, she taught everybody how to get a man after that. So that's the something about Boaz that nobody preaches about. So that's what I'm saying.
I like it.
I was dangerous with the Bible.
I like it.
I was dangerous with the Bible. And Donna, I'm going to tell you the truth about these sperm banks.
Yes.
Women ain't going to no sperm banks. Women are not going to sperm banks.
They're not going there anymore? They're not.
They never been to no sperm banks. You know they get a sperm bank from? The men that they meet online, the men that they met on brunch.
Oh gosh.
Or you might want to drink some water.
Stanley? Remember that story we did on Dion Evans Live about the woman who her and her boyfriend broke up and he had sex with a condom and he threw the condom in the trash can. She went in the trash can, took the contents of the condom, impregnated herself, had twins, he took her to court. He sued her in court. And the court said, yes, we know you were wearing a condom. Yes, we know you told her you didn't want to have kids. Yes, we know you threw the condom in the trash. Yes, we know she retrieved the condom. Yes, we know that she put the contents of the condom inside. But because the contents are your DNA, you owe her child support for 18 years.
So what was the point? Was the point to have children, or was the point to be supported for 18 years?
I think the support, I can't speak for what she did, but I know that as long as she was in a relationship with him, she was fine.
Yeah.
And when she did that after
they broke up,
he broke up.
Now, mind you, keep in mind,
he had one more.
SMS.
Yeah.
This is an SMS. And after that, there was a maid who got the sperm out of a condom of a millionaire. She's 34 years old, and she did that.
Oh, wow.
Right? But
you
now,
know how nasty you got to be. You know how nasty you got to be to do something.
Dion, there's more. Yeah. I need to take deep breaths. Donna,
if you got to take a deep breath, me and Don are probably about to pass out.
I'm fit to go off screen so I can pass out.
Now, this is allegedly coming from TikTok. These girls' trips.
Yeah.
To the island of Jamaica and Ghana, Africa. These women are going around getting pregnant by these men that they just meet on these trips and coming home and having a baby. Don't know who the father is.
And they'll never see them again. But they just want the baby without the man.
Yeah.
Sperm, money. Yeah. All right, Donna, take a deep breath. Let's get into segment number 2 with Sandy Joseph.
I can't.
We've talked about this. Let's hear Stanley says Zion Williamson are strippers smarter than college educated for bagging a higher value male.
Banging. Freudian slip.
Bang.
Bang, and got a baby too. Got the seed and got the money.
Yep.
And here's the thing, like, again, here is a black man in sports who likes sisters. Sisters. Yep. He don't want a white girl. He don't want no Latina. He's not down with the swirl. He want a sister. And that's all he want. He is Ebony in Essence. And Jet Magazine too. And all he wanted was for you to be his boo. And you just left him for a stripper to get. And a porn star. And porn stars.
Yeah.
That how
I was shocked by the porn star Mariah Mills. Because if you know, Mariah Mills is like top tier ebony porn star.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm gonna challenge that because it's only for white guys, and that really don't sell.
But see, you didn't let me finish. Because what I was gonna say is she's a top tier ebony porn star, but she is not known.
She's not top tier.
Her porn companion are typically almost always white guys.
She's exotic.
It doesn't
She's
sell.
exotic.
So when
she's
I
exotic.
found out that she was in a relationship with Zion Williamson, I was like, oh, really? She's a little old. By porn star age, she's almost out the game.
Yeah, she's a gilf. She's a grandmother, even though she's a grandmother.
Oh.
Yes, that's a gilf.
I know what the rest of it is. Thank you very much. Yes. I know. It's like a MILF.
We don't know Prince, but we know the terms. We don't know Prince, but we know.
There's a gilf and there's a MILF. I know.
Yeah. How come they don't have DILFs?
Would
I like to be a DILF?
No. Different market, sir. Different market. Different market.
Yeah.
Different market.
Yep.
That's probably on the other part of the site that I don't go to.
Right.
Yeah, different market. Yeah. You don't want that.
Oh gosh.
But you bring up this point, Stanley. Remember, we're not we're only one generation in where the idea of being a stripper isn't tied to negativity.
Oh,
we're only a generation into this.
I thought we were in 3 generations of this.
No. There's always been strippers, but they've not.
The stigma is
the
no longer.
stigma of a stripper has always been negative.
Yeah.
Until this latest generation.
Until
Maybe
this
two generations. Because the latest generation is kind of like my son, definitely my daughter's generation. That's 2 generations ago.
My generation, they were hit. They were it. Because remember, they became vixen girls.
In the video.
Yeah, but there was a difference in a vixen girl and a stripper. You didn't really know that a vixen girl was a stripper.
I'm in love with a
strip. They had the possibility of stripping. You knew that if they did strip, you would be willing to watch. But
it was BT After Dark.
Mm-hmm.
That was my.
They
were always there. BT After Dark. Them strippers was Dion. That was Generation X.
Yeah, but that wasn't. But those strippers, it was after dark for a reason. It was still considered taboo. It was still something you did at night when nobody else knew. And if you did it, you only talked about it with other folks you knew was doing it. It was still taboo. It was not cool. Now it's the rite of passage.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to be a famous female rapper, how you gonna become that if you ain't spent some time on the pole? I'm just saying, how you gonna do it?
But if you just look at these reality shows, the reality shows are pretty much based on basketball wives who aren't wives, but they have children by these basketball players, that they are out for the sperm, the money, and the sex. That a lot of these, the real housewives, most of the white ones might be married or have men, but the real housewives of Atlanta, I'm trying to remember, Candy's married, but the others, I don't watch it anymore, but most of them aren't married. Right.
No.
She wasn't married because I used to write for the Hinterland Gazette, and that was one of the shows I had to cover. And I remember the whole drama with her and her mama. And I remember her mom was like, "Look, his dude ain't got no job. He don't got no money."
And she's the one that still has the money. And she's brought him up, but she's the one that's still making the money. And so he's supporting her endeavors. And sometimes an endeavor that has his name on it, but simply because she's backing it. So No,
but they have a great partnership. They have a partnership. They're a little bit different. But the one person that was a stripper, Nene was a stripper, and she got married.
Nene was a stripper, right.
And she got married. But that's the whole thing, right?
Right.
I think we missed this thing about, like, when you meet a celebrity, the goal was marriage. The goal was never to go around laying up in the house like a cat. Having no access to stuff, let him do everything. No, y'all married.
Yeah.
He elevates because the marriage elevates you because you're married. Right. And marriage is an elevation now.
Yeah, it gave you status.
Right. Yes. You're not equal to the person that's in that sports or that arena. But again, people are not dating to mate. They're dating to be worshiped. Now, when you do that, guess what? There's another false god that could come around and knock you off your pedestal.
Oh yeah.
So, like,
hold on.
Go ahead.
I can't get past this thought you just threw out there, because it is a phenomenal thought. People are not in a relationship to date. They're in a relationship to be worshipped.
Mm-hmm.
Is that why, for women, they feel they have to cosmetically change their look because it increases their worship value?
Yeah.
Is this why men are running around with fake jewelry and fake videos? I mean, I'm watching dudes that are completely unattractive walking up with just a iPhone, no real apps, no broadcasting skill, and just asking women, "Hey, rate my drip." And I'm looking at the clothes and I'm like, he's got on some jeans, a t-shirt, and some shoes, and the girl's looking at him like, "Oh, I'll give you an 8," and he's like, "No, 10, 8," and I'm like, he's got on. So then I realized his jeans cost like $300 something. His shoes cost like $300, and they don't have no creases in it because he walks with his knees high so that his feet don't get creases in his shoes. And then he's got a T-shirt on that costs like $60.
Oh God, help me.
No, Deanna. No. The shoes are okay. So the car itself is a kit. So there's a kit. You look up scammers, and Florida scammers or LA scammers. They get a kit. You get a bucket and make your bucket look like a Ferrari. That's number one. The clothes, the Cuban links, all that's fake because nobody really goes up and touch your clothes and your links. You'll get that from Toomey. That's number two. Number three, you can say you have an iPhone if you put a case on it.
Wow. I don't understand all the time and energy put into this.
Yes, you do, Donna. Yes, you do. If you see it from the perspective that Stanley's bringing it up, if I'm worshipped, if the goal of other people in my life is to worship me, is there ever enough worship?
No.
If I get worshipped at a level 5, I'm going to do whatever I got to do to get worshipped at a level 6. And then I want a level 7.
Yep. Yeah, because we've moved from, and Dion, you might have to do a study on this one, right?
Uh-huh.
I've read the scripture, the studies on Jezebel itself, right?
Yes.
And what I saw is like we're moving from daughter of Eve to daughter of Lilith. We're moving to Lilith spirit.
Lilith.
And so when you guys mentioned the club, I'm like, there's a reason why the club scene is dead because nobody wants to dance. They want to be adorned. They want to be worshipped. They want to be seen. Nobody wants to sweat. Nobody wants to meet. Nobody wants to greet. It's about being worshipped. Everybody wants to be worshipped, worship. If you're out here trying to date, and that's the honesty part nobody's being honest about, you wanting somebody like, oh, I'm bored, I want to date. No, you want to be worshipped. You want to be chased. You want somebody to do everything for you. And I let women know, like, this is where it dies for me. I don't do false gods.
Wow. You might have to explain the Lilith reference, Stanley, for those who don't know what Lilith.
It's like the camera, like everything's on them, and they have a look, and they do the little things, and the minute the camera's on, it's a new personality.
Yeah.
New personality, duck lips, everything. Because I know we did a show on duck lips, but amazing, duck lips kept on lasting for more than 10 years. After we did Issues After Dark, Friday shows, but then you see it's going on again and again and again. Every, like for attention to women is what porn is for men. So these apps are like porn for women.
Wow.
And
here's the thing that has come to mind. There are women out there who want a relationship with a man that is healthy and that is complimentary with an E. But their competition is out there that says, I'm going to be worshipped. And men are buying into that.
I don't know anymore, Donna. I don't know.
Yeah, I know some.
I don't know. Maybe if you get a certain age and you can't be worshipped like you want to be worshipped, maybe I don't know. Let's go to break. We'll come back on the other side more with Stanley Joseph. Catching up with my good brother. Oh my God, I'm getting headed.
First Peter 5:8 says, cast all your cares upon him because he cares for you. Hebrews 12:1 says, lay aside every weight, sin that easily entraps us. Guys, you got to give all that stuff to God and lay that at the feet of Jesus. And in exchange, pick up some rest. My yoke is easy and burden is light. He's calling you. Come on. All ye heavy laden, and all ye heavy hearted, all ye heavy burden, come, Lord will give you rest. Oh, come, He will give you rest. Bring it back one time, hey. All ye, come on, heavy laden. All ye, heavy hearted. Thank you, Lord. And all ye, heavy burden. Oh, come, the Lord will give you rest. Yes, He will. He will give you rest. Come and be filled. Come and be filled. Come and be healed. Oh, come and be healed. Come and be filled. Come on, y'all. Come and be filled. Of the Spirit of the Lord. Of the Spirit of the Lord. Take them back to the top. Come on. All ye heavy laden, all ye, thank you, heavy hearted, and all ye heavy burden. Oh, come, the Lord will give you rest. Oh, come, He will give you rest. One more time, all ye heavy laden. All ye heavy-hearted, lay it all down to it. All ye, is heavy burden. Oh, come, the Lord will give you rest. Oh, come, He will give you rest. Raise your hands up and say, come and be filled. Oh, come and be healed. Oh, come and be filled by the Spirit of the Lord. It's only by the name of Jesus. The Spirit of the Lord. Take them to the school, y'all.
I'm your idol, the highest title, numero uno. I'm not a Puerto Rican, but I'm speaking so that you know. And understand I got the gift of speech and it's a blessing. So listen to the lesson I preach. I talk sense condensed into the form of a poem. Full of knowledge from my toes to the top of my dome. I'm kinda young, but my tongue speaks maturity. I'm not a child, I don't need nothing for security.
Issues After Dark, yes. Donna Williams. Leon Evans, our special guest, Stanley Joseph.
Oh, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, these subjects are beating me into the ground.
Oh gosh, there's so much to dig into.
We deal with controversial subjects
all the time. I feel like somebody's just punching me, saying, "You dumb woman, what makes you think that this was a reality, that women respected men and men respected women and that they're to mutually support one another? What world are you living in? Are you losing?" Crazy woman.
You know what this does for me as a reality check?
What?
It lets me know how disconnected what we believe.
Yeah.
And Stanley's generation and below believe.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring him back in right now. Hey,
what's up?
When I hear Stanley talk, and definitely he knows the time and his season.
Yeah.
When I hear him talk, and I'm shocked at what I'm learning, because at this point, Stanley really shouldn't be teaching me as much as he's teaching me. I am hearing words, phrases, and clauses, if I can use conjunction function.
Yeah, you can't use that anymore.
I'm hearing words, phrases, and clauses from a man much younger than me, who, from an intellect, his intellect is the same. Loving the Lord, the same. Wanting to be a good man, the same. But our generations are different.
Yeah, totally different.
And when I hear him talk about the knowing of his generation, I've got to ask myself, Do young people even understand what I'm saying?
No.
Because
No,
Donna,
we don't.
even as I was hearing you talk about woman, submissive, I was thinking like maybe the young women Stanley talking about. I'm like, man, Donna, you sound old as hell.
Well, yes, I am.
Ain't nobody. Now understand. My generation, I understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know that you are right.
Yeah.
Stanley's generation does not.
Well, you know that the corruption of the word submissive began before Stanley's generation, where women were pushing back.
My generation.
Yeah, where they were pushing back at the idea.
Generation.
Yeah.
My generation was the generation, and maybe the generation right above me, my parents' generation, was a generation where men started demanding biblical teachings. Submissive.
Yeah.
Without being biblical.
Yeah, they mismanaged.
They had godly expectations with no true form of God.
Right. It became a demand.
And so now Stanley's kind of like he's in the crux of he understands our generation.
Yeah.
He understands his generation.
Yeah.
And he's understanding the generation slightly below him. He's in a better position historically to help.
Absolutely.
Whereas you and I, in our roles, and this says something to the local church.
Yeah.
This says, can you imagine a church where the majority of the congregants are 50 years old and above, and young people come there to visit for Easter, and they hear the sermons? Or they come to visit, they in town from school and they're visiting their grandma and they going to church because they want to please grandma and they hear this. Can you understand how dumb and outdated and ignorant those sermons must sound like?
But here's the danger with that, I think, Dion, is that if we are going to quote unquote cater to that generation, and that's a bad word to use, but that's the only word I can think of. What are we diluting? What are we dumbing down when it comes to the word of God?
Here's the problem. The problem isn't we don't need to change. We don't need to dilute.
Yeah.
We don't know how to talk to.
Right. Okay.
So
it's the language.
So we don't know that when we use certain terms, that's trigger warning language. We can't communicate because we're using terms that don't have that meaning in that generation.
Right.
Remember, Donna, you and I case in point, you and I grew up, you and I can read an old King James version of the Bible.
And love
with
it.
The ye, you know that means you.
Yes.
The thus, with the whithersoever shall thou goeth.
The thee
we
and
can
the thou.
read that Shakespearean language.
Love it.
Get that old school King James Bible to somebody below Stanley's generation.
But here's the thing.
Like writing in cursive.
But Dion, these are the same people that go to college and maybe they're English majors. They're reading old text and they're understanding those old texts. Why? Because the professor now translates that text for them so that they understand.
They're not reading. They're reading those things, studying those things for educational purposes, not for life altering. They're not reading Shakespeare to learn how to live.
Right.
They're reading Romeo and Juliet like these are some hot ass teenagers who just lost their mind and went mentally ill for a few minutes. They're not finding biblical points.
Oh, gosh.
My point is the language that we know is not the language they know. Now, I'm not saying we should be watering it down to like Black Bible Chronicles where we're calling a Rapping with Jesus Bible. I'm not talking about paraphrasing. I'm talking about how do we successfully communicate? Because even if we're not in that generation, we got kids. You got grandkids.
Yes.
That right now, Donna, you think you're communicating to.
No, my granddaughter tells me that doesn't make sense. And now I'm at a loss as to how to explain it so it does make sense. When I say, you shouldn't be sitting like that in a dress. She goes, why not? And I say, well, XYZ. She goes, that doesn't make sense because that is a different mind. That's not a deal for them. You should have a slip on. Why? That doesn't make sense. When everybody, you can see through, but my generation doesn't want to wear anything where the sun shines through and I see it. So now here's the deal. You have to research. I tell people, why are you on TikTok? Because I want to know what the young people are talking about. I want to know what the language is. I want to understand what they're having to say. That's why
I haven't
I'm
been
on
a
TikTok.
missionary to TikTok. I don't have a TikTok. But and with Stanley's going to have to be my TikTok guru. I just had to get it from him. He gonna have to spoon feed me what's going on. All right, Stanley. Stanley, you have anything else you want to say before we go to the next segment?
Yes, I want to encourage both of you guys. Just know that, one, you don't have to dumb down anything. Two, keep in mind, I just talked about Ruth. That wasn't a dumbed down issue. Right. That wasn't anything. That required me to study. There's so many translations of the Bible, like the NIV, the New King James, or something else for you to read. I do like the Message, because the Message, can't read the Message all the way, but it kind of like, I can hear the voice of DMX or Ice Cube reading. Oh, you fool! How dare you talk to God like that? Don't you understand what he can do to you? I mean, the Message come at you like it's Ice Cube reading to you. You're like, okay, I got it. But then you
But that was the point. That's why
it just got to be relatable, because I look what everybody encouraged me to read Ruth in the hopes, now this is in church, and hope that I become a servant to a woman's will. When I read Ruth alone, I saw another picture that was there. One, she was under her mother-in-law. She didn't have to be. She could have left.
Right.
But and she accepted the God of her mother-in-law, which meant that while she was married to her sons, she was not following God. And when she decided to follow God, she didn't make a deal with God like, you promised me another husband. Now, mind you, in church, it's like you have to make a deal with God and he's going to promise to fulfill that to you. I think that's why people leave the church now. It goes right into this next segment, because now I'm a Christian. I've been baptized. Where's my husband? God, is God still God if he doesn't give you what you want?
Yeah.
Still selling a bill of goods that once you come to Jesus, everything will be okay. And all you have to do, here we go back to the name it and claim it, the call it and haul it, the believe it and receive it.
The blab it and grab it.
Yeah. And God is saying, which text is that you're pulling that from? Because they're taking pieces out of different parts and making it say what they want it to say. And so we're selling a bill of goods to people who have no knowledge, Dion. You said they don't understand the language. They don't understand. So when someone says, just come to Jesus and everything will be all right. Okay, that's what I want. But the longer I stay within the confines of this local assembly, and I'm praying and everybody else is praying and I'm believing and I'm trusting, and it doesn't come to pass, somebody lied to me.
You know what you just did to me, Donna?
What?
You said, we tell them to come to Jesus. Do you know that means absolutely nothing?
Not a thing.
Telling someone,
but we define it for them.
If you are not taking the time to explain Jesus, I'm talking about the biblical Jesus.
Right.
You just can't tell somebody to come. If you tell somebody to come to Jesus and they somehow come to Jesus, that means come to church to them. They're going to be off for a long time. And then maybe that's the reason why people are living from an unbiblical perspective. It's because we set them up on an unbiblical stage using language that meant something, but we didn't use the meaning of the language properly. We weren't thorough. We were lazy.
Dion, no, it's strategic. It's not lazy. It's strategic.
Open it up. Talk to me about it.
The Jesus is not the church.
Oh, I know that.
The Jesus is the minister.
Oh, yeah.
That's the Jesus. The Jesus is the minister. Come to me. That's the Jesus. It's not the 3-in-1. It's not the one in the Bible. It's not the Bible itself. It's not the congregation.
Sit under my ministry and you'll get a husband. Not Jesus.
Yeah.
Me, this single pastor who might be married. I dress like a metrosexual. I dress like I'm a modern day hip hop artist. Come sit
Those
under
are the
me.
worst.
Yeah. But isn't that what happened to that pastor of Hillsong in New York?
What?
That he got caught. All of them.
He got caught.
I had to dump a girl for that. I had to dump a girl about that. She wanted me to follow this minister that was one of those hip hop ministers. Yeah. And she's like, "Do you follow this brother?" I'm like, "Why would I follow him?" Well, if you don't follow him, we can't go on a date. I'm like, "Well, that's more money in my pocket." And guess what I did? I showed enough went to Chili's, put that on my Facebook Live, and my
put it on your Facebook Live. Watch me eat. Enjoy this meal.
Appetizer and all. And I got the 2 for $25, all for me. It could have been you, but oh well. And that's it. Now go to that minister. People are following these ministers, not getting married to anybody. They want to get the copy of the minister, or they want to get the access to that minister himself. So then this minister is having sex with the singles in the congregation.
Yeah.
And they're part of his harem.
Yeah.
That's been happening for many generations.
The reference I made about the pastor, the Hillsong pastor, I think his name was Carl Lenz. He became a celebrity. He became a star. The church was huge, but he had an affair, and that affair came out. And when he had an affair and the affair came out and he left the church, then many other people left the church because their Jesus had fallen. So it was like, I'm done with it. I don't go to church anymore. I don't trust pastors anymore. I don't trust, church anymore. Simply because, like you said, Stanley, they got the wrong Jesus.
Yeah.
But they didn't get the wrong Jesus they got isn't their fault.
No,
the wrong Jesus they got is because people were in leadership and gave them a wrong Jesus.
Right.
And I've been fighting that my whole ministry.
Yeah.
I am very clear when I served as senior pastor. I am not Jesus.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't say that because I'm trying to justify some private sin. I ain't got no side chick. This is not Sunday Chick-fil-A in a chicken truck. I don't have side chick. We'll be back. More with Stanley Joseph.
Oh, gosh.
One, two, three, say. You might as well go ahead and get your dance on. Jesus, be heaven. All around me, I'm asking you to protect me. I know you can. I know you will. Fight my battles. My feet still. Can you say one more time? Be open. Say open. I see you there. I see you. I'm asking you to protect I know you can, I know you will. Fight my battle and I'll just keep still. Say, yeah.
This is my prayer, Lord, that I pray each and every day. That you would guide my footsteps, let us stumble and stray. Lord, I need you to direct me all along the way. every day. Come on, help me say, Jesus, Jesus, save. All around me. I'm a sinner from me. I want you to protect me as I travel along the way. I know you can. I know you will. Fight my battles and just keep still. Say, sometimes the way gets so rough, y'all, and the nights are so long. And my hour weakness, that enemy trying to steal my soul. But when it comes like a flood to surround me, my God will step in and stand in your way. Oh Lord, be a fence all around me every day. Come on, somebody else yourself. Jesus, be a fence all around me. I'm asking you to protect me.
Knowledge and relationships chimes in here again. I said this a little earlier. I wanted to bring it up. No one will ever be satisfied.
No.
And let me tell you something. Let me tell you why I brought this up. This is for those who are saved. I don't care how saved you are. The Bible is clear. No one, the eye is never satisfied with what it sees.
Right. Nor
the ear with what it hears. And so I say that because I don't want somebody saved to be like, yeah, them folks who who ain't saved, ain't never satisfied. They're gonna always want more. No. Everybody. No one is satisfied with what they see or what they, if you purposely went to see it, you gonna want to see some more of it. That's why porn, that's why sugar, that's why it doesn't matter. Never satisfied. Let's get Stanley Joseph back up on here.
Yeah.
I was distracted a little bit. You know, my wife grew up Catholic. Stanley knows her. Donna, of course you know.
Yeah.
But what is always funny to me is when she has these Baptist moments.
Yeah.
You know, she's Catholic. She grew up with,
Gosh.
We was during the break playing Jesus Being Defense. Y'all should have seen her. You'd have thought she was Vicky Winans or somebody. She was picking her foot up off the floor. She's not even in a skirt, but she was pulling her pant leg up like she had a skirt on. I was in here just dying. Like this girl, this she's like a Catholic who was starved of truth. And she just has fun being Baptist. And
there you go.
Love that girl. Mm-hmm. All right, our special guest, Stanley Joseph, the broadcast Issues After Dark, episode 75. We are in the last segment. We are like 6 minutes down before we go off air. And I told you, our fastest 2 hours in broadcast still.
Yeah.
Still. Let me send it back to Stanley.
Yes.
Run the show.
Hey, what's up? Hey, I just want to read the scripture real quick, give an example of like what the message sounds like. And this answered Donna's question about the Jezebel spirit, right? Mm-hmm. This is Revelations 2:20-23. But you, why do you let that Jezebel who calls herself a prophet mislead my dear servants into cross-denying, self-indulgent religion? I gave her a chance to change her ways, but she has no intention of giving up a career in God business, in the God business. I'm about to lay her low along with her partners as they play their sex and religion games. The bastard offspring of their idol whoring I'll kill. And then every church will know that appearance don't impress me. I X-ray every motive and make sure you get what's coming to you.
Oh,
wow. That's the message Bible.
And that's the message. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not for you to dumb down the word of God. You got to get a translation and talk, because the Bible has helped me to, get back my ex-girlfriend, but she had another boyfriend. I was going to take away from that boyfriend, but guess what? I read up on David and Bathsheba. Send her right back to her ex-boyfriend. Gone. Okay. Right. It's relatable. We have to make it relatable. No more hip-hop pastors. Please. Wear jeans, that's your age.
In the skinny jeans. With the holes in it. With the holes in the knees.
And above their ankles. Wearing shoes with no socks.
No socks. Yeah.
We don't need it. We don't need another hip-hop pastor. We don't need no more. You're not
relating that way.
And we don't need any more pastors marrying women so that they can hide their sexuality.
Oh, Jesus.
Be honest about it. Either. Both of them. But that go for both of them. Because allegedly, again on TikTok, there are women who are lesbians, but they're only getting married to have the baby and to have the income. So they divorce the husband and keep the baby, and they go off with their women lovers. This is the time and age that we're in. It's not just men.
You've seen a lot of that in the celebrities. I know
Niecy Nash. Yeah. With a young.
But that's everywhere, right? So it's not just men.
She's a dope actress.
Yes.
But that's
what's going on.
She was married to a pastor who had some proclivities. So, yeah. I kind of understand her situation.
Oh, gosh.
I don't think she had a kid by him, though.
Yeah, she did have kids by him.
But I know that she divorced, and then all of a sudden she came out as something totally different.
She got married again, and then she divorced that man, and then she found this youngun
girl.
And she didn't know that she had this until they went on a date, and then when the youngun was leaving, she's like, "You want to spend the night?" And from that point on, she was free at last.
Look, you don't become Martin Luther King overnight.
Can I share this with anybody who say they're a Christian? I gotta share this point. If you introduce yourself as a Christian right now to anybody, especially to me, the first thing comes out your mouth like, "Hey, I'm a Christian." I'm sorry. I now label you as a legion of demons, because these are the worst people. You gotta live an example, and that's it. 2, I'm not asking for perfection. I'm not perfect. Understand whatever sin and whatever proclivity that you go through, that's supposed to make you grow closer to God. I don't need to know what it is. I really don't. I don't believe
be able to handle knowing what it is.
Yeah. So Dion could do that. For me, I believe that whatever sin that you have, God put it there because you got to have compassion, because there's somebody else that's going through it worse than you are, and you have to be relatable to that person. So I'm not into everybody needs to be perfect. If you don't have compassion for people who are going through whatever they're going through in their life, I'm beginning to see like, oh, you haven't learned that Christian walk yet. You haven't given God your cross. And number 3, whatever you think, or whatever minister, church, or congregation, or cult tells you that you need to sacrifice what God given you to show that you love God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit is false. No matter what you sacrifice, is never greater than John 3:16.
All right, now that's it.
For God so loved the world.
That's it. That He gave.
He gave His only begotten Son. He said that to Nicodemus. I love that text.
Yep.
I love that text. Go ahead, Stanley. I want you to have the floor. I can say
and that's just from the singles ministry. That's from when I left the church as a singles person, I knew that this church held me away from my purpose, and I'm like, okay. But because of what happened after I left the church and people were blessed and it continued, I remember my landlord told me something. She's like, I know you the real deal because people are still blessed when you're not here. and you'll never get the credit for it. But I see that God is blessing you and blessing others. And I just want people to know, like, singles ministry, I think if churches honored people who are single and understand that churches don't grow because of families or trying to get people into dating or something. Church grows when people have a purpose. And when you deny people their true purpose, this is why people are leaving church and people can't be in church, because they're worshiping you and not actually worshiping the person who created them.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always say any local congregation can be a great place to be saved, but that doesn't mean that's a congregation that you're going to be able to grow in towards Christ.
Right.
Right. Towards Christ. Stanley, your final comment.
Yes.
Hey, it's good to be home. I'm looking forward to be back so we can talk about the updates, what happened to the guys, talk about my walk, how I've been going through the 10 years, being an escort for Jesus in the church.
An escort for Jesus in the church. I'm just,
Donna, the prodigal son is back.
But you got Jesus with you, so that's good stuff. You got Jesus with you.
Donna, your final comment.
I don't have anything to say except, oh my gosh. That's all I got to say. It's like, oh, I'm clutching the pearls and I don't even have any on. I'm just like,
good night. God bless.
You have been listening to Issues After Dark with Donna Williams and Dion Evans. Follow updates regarding Issues After Dark on Bitter Cup Media. Follow Bitter Cup Media on your favorite social media platform. Listen live each night, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Join the conversations and please ensure your support. Donations to support this broadcast can be sent to Cash App, Venmo, or Zelle at Bitter Cup Media. And as our hosts would say, good night and God bless you.
I'm Mo Kelly. You are listening to Issues After Dark with my friends Donna and Dion.
Thank you for tuning in to Bitter Cup Media for your broadcast news. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Search Bitter Cup Media. Tell a friend, coworker, or family member to join you in listening to our cutting-edge radio broadcast. Remember this, even if our hearts condemn us, God is greater than our hearts, and He knows all things. Bitter Cup Media, signing off.
Clap your hands.